Hey everyone, I want to talk about this idea that people will say that the enemy knows your future, and specifically what God has for you, like your specific future, and therefore that's why he's attacking you. And I want to chuck that out. I know, I think I've agreed with it many times, maybe even said it, just not really thinking it through. And I've realized it, I don't know, months ago to be really more aware of that, not to say that, because it's just not true. If you're a born again believer, if you've given your life to Christ, then you have the Holy Spirit in you. So the enemy cannot read your thoughts. No one can know the mind of a person except the spirit of that person, like the Holy Spirit. So in 1 Corinthians 2, around 10 through 16, if you read that little section, the very last line says we have the mind of Christ, right? But before that, it says things like, God's revealed to us, right? Because the Spirit searches all things, the depths, even the depths of God. And then in verse 11, for who among men knows the thoughts of a man except the spirit of the man which is in him, right? So the enemy can't know our thoughts. The Holy Spirit can, right? We can know God's thoughts and God can know our thoughts, but the enemy can't know our thoughts. He doesn't predict or know the future. In a few verses before this, it's like they didn't, the wisdom which none of the rulers of this age, so the enemy, has understood, for if they had understood it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory, right? They don't know. So if you say, oh, God's got such a good plan for you, that's why the enemy's attacking you. That's actually a true statement. That's true for every single person, right? God has good plans and good thoughts for every single one of us. Go to Jeremiah 29:11, right? It's so yeah, that's true. But when you pick it at a specific person, I think it's meant to make them feel good, like, oh, they're such good for you. But again, that's true for everybody. And when we make it on the focus, it could either do one thing where they're like, yeah, I'm special. We're all special, like so special, like so special in God's eyes. But we all have the same Holy Spirit. So God can work through us to do amazing things because he's amazing. And so we don't want to think like, oh, this is about me. Like I am so personally amazing that the enemy specifically is attacking me. So you could go that route, or it could go victim. I'm a victim. I'm being attacked more than anybody. The enemy specifically is attacking me. I don't think I want these good things from God. The enemy, no, neither one is true, right? And so we get to look at what is true. The enemy doesn't know the future. He doesn't know our thoughts. And so he could know the thought that he planted in your mind, right? That he threw at you. He's a profiler. He knows how you act and what you've spoken out and what you've acted afraid of in the past, and what has been spoken over your family, and then you agree to it. But he doesn't know your future. But he does know God has good thoughts and plans for everyone, and he has a calling on all of our life that is to have relationship with him. And so don't give him too much credit, and don't help somebody either focus on being a victim or focus totally on the enemy or focus on being fantastically awesome and prideful, right? So, because the victim or prideful, they're both pride. They're both focused on self. So we get to instead focus on God and say, God's amazing and awesome. The enemy's trying to thwart his will and his plan because it's not for you to be sick. He says there will be persecution, but that's specifically for preaching the gospel. So, if it's sickness, that's just straight from the enemy. It has no rights to be there. So don't get caught in the swirl of being different or focusing on self or victim or whatever. So anyway, I hope that helps. The enemy doesn't know the future or your thoughts. If you're a born again believer and you have thoughts of the Spirit, you're sealed in the Holy Spirit. Have a wonderful day.